You're like a circle that floats around me.
Hi there, and welcome to this video where I want to share a few thoughts about what to do when your hiring manager just wants you to post the job description and get on with it. Hi, I'm Catherine Moody, author of the Consultative Recruiter Handbook and Playbook, and what really is sad to me is how hard recruiters have to work because of one simple reality. There are lots of things going on that I'm addressing in these videos, but there's one thing that I think really makes recruiting so much harder and so much slower than it has to be. And that is, if you are working hard sourcing, and there's just all these great sourcing strategies and things that people are telling you about all the time, that we feel guilty if we're not keeping up with, at least I do. But, sourcing is not all of the recruiter's job. And all those great sourcing strategies aren't really as effective if where you're sending those people that you found to a really sucky posting. And job descriptions are sucky postings. You look just like everybody else. There's nothing that really reaches out and grabs the candidate, nothing that speaks to the reason they love their job, nothing that speaks to what they're going to get as a result of being smart enough to apply for your position. And so I've done a whole video on how to write those postings, even if you don't like writing, you don't think you're creative, you nearly flunked English, and you don't think there's any need for commas. But what do you do when the hiring manager says, oh no, we're just going to post the job description and get on with it? So here are some thoughts. If at all possible, you do want to have some kind of a launch meeting with the hiring manager. I don't like to call it an intake meeting because that sounds like, the meeting that I have with the nurse who takes my temperature before I get to see the real person who knows what they're doing. So for some reason, I would just call it a launch. I've had clients who loved calling it a deep dive, but it's a strategy. And you can say that, this is our strategy to make sure that we are appealing to the candidates that you really want to have, to your hiring manager, the best of the best. And communication in the world today has to be very different to attract those kinds of candidates. So just maybe a way to help your hiring manager see the value to them of spending time with you. A lot of times I know companies use that service level agreement, and I've seen a lot of those. And for me, they don't have the right kinds of questions. So if you have those, then at least consider looking at the launch document that's in the handbook. And I've done several videos on questions that you should ask in launch meetings that can make all the difference. So if the hiring manager says, no, I'm not going to do that, I just want you to get started, then what I'm going to suggest is that whether you can do the launch meeting or you use your expertise and perspective, which you have, by the way, at least write an initial paragraph, break it up into multiple paragraphs, on top of the job description so that you are appealing to the candidate. Many times postings are all about the company, which certainly is important. But initially, the reason we all read something is because there's something in it for us. And so talk about what will be important to the candidate that they get in your opportunity, and make that sourcing pay off for you with a higher percentage of return on the investment, because it is a lot of work to source. The hiring manager may say, oh, we need to have the whole job description because that's legally required. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't really know. But this is one of those places that as a consultant, you want to win a little bit, but you don't want to give in entirely, and you don't want to have a big battle. So here's a compromise that I will say to the hiring manager, okay, we'll do it that way, and I'll just put a paragraph on the top because this is the first thing that candidates will see. They'll be attracted to it. It communicates the way these kinds of candidates need to be communicated. So you're demonstrating your expertise by doing this. It can make a huge difference. And over time, you may find that the hiring manager will let you write an entire posting that isn't the job description. Certainly you take pieces out of the job description, but the hiring manager may be more open to letting you start to experiment with different kinds of postings. Always make sure the hiring manager sees what you've written. Two reasons for that. If there's something that's not quite right, we want that corrected. But it is a very subtle way to demonstrate your expertise. And it has to be demonstrated because we can't say to people, I know what I'm doing, you should trust me. If you have people you can say that to, you're lucky. Most of us have to take different routes to become that trusted advisor. So write a paragraph and break it up into small sections because people don't read long paragraphs. And put that at the top of your posting if you can. I know sometimes posting format is predetermined in your ATS. See if there's any way around that. Maybe you put this in the in-mail that you send, but you need to find a way to write something that will appeal to the candidate. And in writing that, you've demonstrated to the hiring manager your expertise. I think you'll find that it makes a difference in your relationship, or it will start to make a difference. And it really starts and continues to shatter that old, very undeserved order taker mentality and image that they may have of us as recruiters. You know, if you just post the job description, that's order taker behavior. I hope that helps. Try it. I think you'll enjoy it. And don't worry about whether you're a writer or not. Just write it the way you would talk to a candidate. And you'll find too that it saves you time when you're doing the screening. I hope that helps, as I said. Take care, be well. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.